Welcome back to Productivity Unpacked, everyone. Today, Jessica and I are tackling a topic that honestly is so often overlooked, yet it's absolutely foundational to a successful workday: the art of opening a meeting. I mean, how many times have you been in a meeting where it just fizzles out before it even properly starts?
Oh, too many times to count, Alex. It's like everyone's just waiting for someone else to take the lead, or the first 5 minutes are spent in awkward silence, or even worse, irrelevant small talk. You can feel the energy just drain out of the room or the Zoom call before anyone's even said anything meaningful. It's a real shame because those initial moments are golden opportunities.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about today. That crucial opening. It sets the tone, defines the purpose, and really dictates whether participants are going to be engaged or just mentally checking out. Think about it. A strong opening can transform a have-to meeting into a want-to meeting. It's not just about saying hello, it's about crafting an experience.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people see the meeting opening as a formality, something to get through to get to the real work. But it is the real work in a way. It's the foundation upon which all the productive work will be built. If you don't lay that foundation properly, everything else is shaky.
So let's dive into the first big piece of this puzzle: setting the agenda professionally. This isn't just about listing bullet points, right? It's about clarity, purpose, and managing expectations. Before anyone even sits down or logs on, they should have a clear idea of why they're there and what needs to be achieved.
100%. And it starts even before the meeting itself. I'm a big proponent of sending out a concise, well-structured agenda beforehand. Not just meeting Project X, but something like Project X update, review Q3 performance, and plan Q4 initiatives. That immediately tells people the scope and the expected outcome.
Yes, absolutely crucial. And within that agenda, it's not just listing topics, it's about framing them as questions to be answered or decisions to be made. Instead of marketing strategy, try discuss and approve Q4 social media campaign strategy. That shifts the mindset from passive listening to active participation.
Exactly. It's about giving each item a clear objective, and time-boxing each agenda item is equally important. When people see that item 1 10 mins, item 2 20 mins, it helps them prepare their thoughts and contributions more effectively, and it signals that you value their time.
It also helps you as the facilitator stay on track. If an item starts to run over, you can gently steer it back by saying, "All right, we've got about 5 minutes left for this, let's try to wrap up," or table it for follow-up. It's a powerful tool for time management within the meeting.
And don't forget to include who's leading each section. That distributes accountability and again lets people know what's expected of them. If I know I'm presenting on Q3 performance, I'll come prepared with data, not just vague recollections. It elevates the level of preparation across the board.
Absolutely. So you've sent out this brilliant, detailed agenda. Now the meeting starts. How do you actually kick it off? Beyond just, "Good morning, everyone." What are the elements of a truly welcoming and professional opening?
Okay, so the first thing I always try to do is a genuine welcome and a quick check-in. Especially with hybrid or remote meetings, you want to acknowledge everyone's presence. Thanks for joining, everyone, especially those of you dialing in from different time zones. Just a small acknowledgement goes a long way to making people feel seen.
Yeah, it's about creating that sense of shared space, even if it's virtual. I often like to start by quickly reiterating the meeting's main objective, very concisely. Something like, "Today, our primary goal is to finalize the launch plan for Project Phoenix and assign ownership for the next steps." This immediately refocuses everyone's mind.
That's perfect, Alex. It's like, okay, we're all here for this specific reason. Let's keep that in mind. And then quickly walking through the agenda you've already sent out. As you saw in the pre-read, here's what we'll cover today. Any immediate questions or adjustments needed to this agenda before we dive in? That last part is key. It empowers participants and catches any glaring omissions.
It's a subtle but powerful way to get buy-in, isn't it? When you ask for input on the agenda itself, even if there are no changes, people feel like their voice matters from the get-go, and it prevents someone from derailing things halfway through by saying, Actually, I thought we were going to discuss X.
Exactly. It creates shared ownership. And then I think it's important to quickly outline any ground rules or expectations for the discussion. Nothing heavy-handed, but things like, let's aim for constructive dialogue, or please ensure only one person speaks at a time, or feel free to use the chat for parking lot items. Especially with larger groups, these simple reminders make a huge difference in managing the flow.
Oh, absolutely. The parking lot idea is genius, especially for meetings where you know there might be tangents. It acknowledges the valid point without letting it consume the core agenda. It's all about respectful facilitation. And what about those tricky beginnings, when people are still logging on? Do you wait? Do you start? How do you handle that?
That's a great question, and it really depends on your company culture and the size of the meeting. For smaller, more informal team meetings, a brief, relevant icebreaker can be really effective if you have a minute or two. Something like, quick check-in, one word to describe your biggest win this week. It gets people talking and brings a bit of personal connection, but you have to be careful not to let it run too long.
Right, a quick, energizing check-in, not a therapy session. For more formal or larger meetings though, I tend to start promptly. I usually have some light background music or a shared screen with the agenda already up a few minutes before start time. And then, at the top of the hour, I start. Those who are on time appreciate it, and those who are late quickly catch up. It respects everyone's time.
I agree. Punctuality is a sign of respect, both for yourself and your colleagues. And speaking of professionalism, what about technical checks for virtual meetings? That's a huge part of the opening that can derail everything if not handled well.
Oh, that's crucial. I mean, we've all been there. Can you hear me now? No, your mic's still off. A quick, can everyone hear and see the shared screen at the very top is non-negotiable. Or even better, start the meeting 2-3 minutes early and explicitly use that time for technical troubleshooting. If you're having audio issues, please let us know now in the chat or unmute quickly. Get it out of the way before the actual content starts.
That's a fantastic pro tip, Alex, dedicating those extra minutes. It reduces the stress for everyone. So we've got the professional agenda, the warm welcome, the clear objectives, and the technical checks. What about setting the tone for the meeting? How do you ensure it's not just productive, but also collaborative and positive?
It really comes down to the energy you bring as the facilitator. If you're enthusiastic and prepared, that's contagious. I often try to open with a brief, positive statement or an acknowledgement of progress. Great to see everyone today. We've made some fantastic strides on Project Alpha, and today we're here to build on that momentum. It shifts the focus to collective achievement and forward movement.
Yes, starting with a positive frame. Even if it's a difficult meeting about challenges, you can frame it constructively. We're facing some hurdles, but I'm confident that with the expertise in this room, we'll find some solid solutions today. It's about instilling that belief in collective problem solving rather than just listing problems.
Exactly. And it's about making sure everyone understands their role, not just the agenda owner, but every participant. Are they there to contribute ideas, to make a decision, to provide an update? A good opening clarifies this. We need your input on X to help us decide on Y. So everyone knows what's expected of them.
Which leads us to one of my pet peeves, meetings where people are clearly unsure why they're even there. The worst is when someone asks, "Why am I in this meeting?" and the facilitator fumbles. That's a sign of a truly failed opening and often a failed meeting structure altogether.
Totally agree. If you can't articulate the purpose and who needs to be there in 1 or 2 sentences, then maybe the meeting shouldn't happen or the attendee list needs refining. Every invitation should come with a mini agenda or purpose statement, even if it's just in the calendar invite, to brainstorm solutions for the Q4 marketing push. Simple but powerful.
And it makes people feel valued, like my specific expertise is needed here, not just my general presence. It encourages them to come prepared with relevant insights rather than just showing up. Think of the amount of wasted time across organizations because of poorly defined meeting purposes.
The cumulative effect of those wasted minutes is staggering. So let's recap some key elements for our listeners. To master the art of opening a meeting, you need a pre-shared, clear, objective-driven, and time-boxed agenda.
Yes, absolutely. And then a warm, inclusive welcome that acknowledges everyone, a concise reiteration of the meeting's main goal, a quick walkthrough and validation of the agenda, and clear ground rules or expectations for participation. And don't forget the tech check if it's virtual.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I'd add, bring positive energy, articulate the desired outcome clearly, and empower participants by making them feel their contributions are valued and necessary. A great meeting opening isn't just about starting on time, it's about starting right.
It truly is an art, but it's an art that anyone can master with practice and intentionality. It transforms meetings from dreaded obligations into productive, collaborative sessions where everyone feels engaged and valued. And who doesn't want more of those?
Exactly. So next time you're about to open a meeting, take those extra few minutes to really think about how you'll set the stage. It will pay dividends in engagement and outcomes. Thank you so much for tuning in to Productivity Unpacked. Jessica, it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Alex. And to all our listeners, we hope this helps you transform your next meeting. Go out there and make those openings shine. We'll catch you next time.